Here we have the all-new 2024 Chevy Blazer EV. This one comes in the LT trim level with all-wheel drive. Love this color. This is the Galaxy Gray Metallic. And then we have black Evotex interior. Now our battery is going to be 85 kilowatt hours. And then we have a 150 kilowatt max charge speed. But again, love the color. As we come around to the front end here, we do get LED headlamps along with LED daytime running lights. And an interesting front fascia here. I think it's pretty at night, definitely. But it just kind of, it's a quirky look, I think. Kind of an acquired taste. But these are 19-inch aluminum wheels. I like how they have the arrow design there. Let's take a look at the charge port. So they made these a little slower, so I guess they're having a lot of issues, especially on the lyrics when they first came out. So they're not going up and down as quickly as they were. But we get passive keyless entry on all four doors, which is nice. Power door lock controls are here, power windows, power folding mirrors with blind spot monitors. And then we do have the power lift gate. I think that has auto sense as well. I'll show you all the packages here. And then to get to that front area, hit that. Electronic parking brake, lane keep assist, automatic brake hold. We do have a manual tilt and telescoping steering wheel. And then here's our 8-way power driver seat, which includes the 2-way power lumbar support. And like the trim here, I like the feel of the Evotex as well, but the design is pretty neat. Now I have that seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs. But before we check out the rear seat room, big shout out to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro for letting me review this Blazer EV today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But I'm just gonna take a quick look at all the features here. I can see them on my screen, so hopefully you all can see them where you are. It's hard to tell with the glare. But comfort and convenience packages on here. That's a $22.95 option, which includes the power seats, heated seats, wireless charging pad, few other features. And then we have a dual panel panoramic sunroof, $1,500 option. Then the convenience and driver confidence package, which I highly recommend, for $1,225, gives you that adaptive cruise, the surround vision, and a few other features as well. So stickers for $58,215. And I don't know what it is about these, but they're nice, but I just feel like that's kind of expensive to stay competitive. But most vehicles in our market, especially as of now, are not cheap when it comes to EVs. But backseat room, very impressive. These are just barely brushing the back of the seat there. Seat back pockets on both sides. 2 USB-C charge ports are down here, and then we do have the rear AC vents. A look at the front from back here. Middle seat folds down, bottle holders here. Let's go ahead and make our way towards the back. So we do get our LED tail lamps as well. We'll take a quick look underneath. And let's go ahead and pop the latch, or the hatch here, excuse me. So pretty good space back here. Top tethers are behind. We're on the back of the actual seats, excuse me. And then the charger, inflator kit, all that's in here. So, I mean, pretty basic cargo space, nothing crazy going on there. But we can fold our seats, the second row at least. And to do that, pull up here on that latch, and that'll fold flat, and you can run longer objects from the back to the front. And then pretty easy to just pop it back into place. I don't know why it's doing that, but there it is. And then our 6-way power front passenger seat is here. And then I like this little area here. I like the trim, glove compartment. Now let's see what's under this hood here as we come back around to the front. So it's mostly just so you can put your windshield wiper fluid in. That might be brake fluid right there. Let's go ahead and hop in and start her up. As I hit the brake, everything comes on. There's the horn. Now over here to the radio, this is gonna be, I think, a 17.7-inch Google Assistant screen. So unfortunately, we don't get the wireless CarPlay Android Auto compatibility, which is very annoying to me, but you do have that Google Assistant built in. So you get used to that, but I don't like that. It's just me. Now for audio, we get AM, FM, XM, Bluetooth, Amazon Alexa, and then the Google News and Podcasts. Volume knob is there. Now for your settings, you can go in here. Vehicle settings, you can adjust that. Teen driver, buckle to drive. And then you have date and time you can adjust. Scroll all the way down to the system settings. You can change your language or units of measurement there. Now with the Google Maps screen, you do have to go through a lot of settings and setting it up or whatever. Great system, but it does require that subscription. Your drive modes you can toggle here, as well as your one pedal drive. So your climate controls, you can go ahead and cut the system on there. You have single zone automatic climate, but you can control the rear where the air is coming from there. Yeah, I don't understand why you don't have dual zone climate controls here. I don't know about that. It's kind of annoying, but you do have single zone, so whatever. And then you can toggle all of your stuff here from the bottom. You have 3-stage heated seats here. Yeah, I don't understand not having dual zone automatic climate controls here. But anyways, here you can go through your charge settings, create a schedule, home charge location, all of that. I do like that it says it'll be ready 45 minutes based on how you charge the vehicle. And then just want to walk through everything. The side here, we can control the lights. And then you can hit that button, just cut the vehicle off by itself. You can set a timer. And then your one pedal drive, you also have a toggle right there on the screen. So everything's pretty neat in here. I like the radio itself, but there's just a lot of things that GM did not include on this that kind of upset me. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Backup cameras there, guidelines follow you as you turn the steering wheel. You also have that bird's eye view as well. And then all of your views here. So pretty neat. You have 2 USB-C charge ports. I like the storage back here. You have storage up here as well. Bottle holders, and then your wireless charging pad there. Another USB-C charge port here with a 12 volt. Now, my favorite thing about this one is going to be the sunroof option, because a lot of EVs don't have an actual sunroof. They just have the glass roof. So it's nice to have the panoramic sliding roof here. We can also tilt as well. So again, that's a big plus for me. It does go all the way back. And there's a view of the back seat from up here. Let's look at these vanity mirrors. So I do like that we have the more premium lighting for that. And as we come back to the steering wheel, we can toggle the regen braking if we're not using the one pedal there. And then we can go through track list or radio station presets right in there. So it's kind of close knit, but okay. And then volume is right here. And the windshield wipers, we can control them here. And then our rear wipers here. Then pull there for the fluid for the rear. And then for the front fluid, you just push in there. So something else that's interesting, I mean, they didn't waste any space here, so I'm glad Now for your cruise control, since we do get adaptive, we can toggle that here, adjust the gap for that as well as the forward collision alert there, and then we can cancel the cruise, set the speed. Heated steering wheel toggle is here. Hit this button to go through the audio sources, and then we can use this as a scroll bar for that. And then Bluetooth buttons are here, so we can use that as a mute button, and then we can hit this up to connect to the actual phone. Voice recognition is here. And you can use that with the Google Assistant, and it'll read everything and so on and so forth. But over here, you can hit this button and it'll change your gauge cluster views. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Looks like we have several different menus to choose from. And then we can scroll when applicable through this here. So radio station favorites, we can toggle through there. It's pretty cool. And then for the shifter, pull, drive, pull and hold for neutral, pull up for reverse, press P for park. And then again, the buttons for the controls are there. If you want to turn the vehicle on or off. And then here we have the key fob with remote start. But next, let's go ahead and take this Blazer EV LT out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Blazer EV, I do feel like GM did a few things. I shouldn't say a few things. I feel like they did a lot of things right with this model in particular. The biggest issue is going to be the price as of now for me. I just think 58 grand for this is pretty steep. But honestly, as I think about it, I mean, a lot of the other EVs that have come out have been around this price point, the Model Y when it first came out. Just for something that's got a bigger battery, all-wheel drive, things of that nature. It's not a bad price, it's just, I think, expensive for what this is. And maybe it's because it has the Blazer nameplate, but I don't know. I think it's just because EVs are just so expensive. Everything just is a lot of money. But you do get good range here with 279 miles. You have that all-wheel drive capability again. And of course, the instant torque you get from an EV. So we're gonna put our foot down here. So great power. And with this view here, I love how it's showing how many kilowatts I'm using, whether I'm putting my foot to the floor or cruising, and it just kind of lets you know how much energy you burn when you put your foot down. I was showing like 230, 240 kilowatts, and then cruising here at 75, I'm only burning 35. So yeah, it's interesting. And this is a pretty cool feature that I have not seen before. I think this is very, very important because you can actually see how much energy you're using, how efficient you're being, and it just makes it feel that much more like a real vehicle, if that makes sense. Now, wind noise is not bad at all, and the ride quality is pretty stellar for this to be an EV. Probably one of the better riding EVs I've been in. And I drove the RS trim level of one of these, and it was just a bit more shaky, I think, just because it had the bigger wheels. But this is a pretty impressive EV as of now, just in terms of the driving dynamics, all of the features you get here. And as I drive it more and more, the more I started thinking, you know what, maybe this isn't a bad price for 58 grand. So again, as I'm driving this, I do think this is a pretty good vehicle for the money. As I've kind of, again, gotten to know it, sitting here behind the steering wheel, just seeing all that's gone into this, I am impressed. There are just a few issues that I have. One of them being not having dual zone automatic climate control. That's just, I don't get that at all. And then just not having the wireless CarPlay Android Auto compatibility. That was something else that really Those are the two big things that irk me about this vehicle, but everything else is very good. Probably about a 9.5 out of 10. The performance is decent. It doesn't throw you back in the seat like a Tesla does, but it does accelerate very quickly. Again, 279 miles per charge is good. And just even the places where they weren't cheap, the steering wheel is nice and thick. I like that. It doesn't feel like I'm about to break it in half because it's so skinny. The padding is very good, very comfortable, and of course you can heat that again. It has a very futuristic look, and I think one of the places where GM knocked it out of the park with this is it has a feel of a Model Y in terms of the technology, the futuristic looks of everything from the dash to the center stack, everything. But it also makes sense. I don't have to go through a bunch of controls to get to certain things like I would in a Tesla. Everything's right here in front of me. So, I mean, it is a good vehicle. Just a bit hefty, I think, for a Chevy when you could get a Cadillac for a little bit more. So really that's the biggest competition that the Blazer EV has is the Lyriq. Now I do think this is more of a practical option when you're thinking about how much a typical vehicle costs now. To be under $60,000, I can't really complain with all that you get. Again, it's just one of those things where I'm like, it's a Blazer and I'm paying almost $60,000. But you have to think, these EVs are very expensive just because the battery costs so much money. These are meant to be more of a treat as opposed to something that's practical, even though long-term, they are a more practical option. And I know that from personal experience. Now you can probably get one of these pre-owned for a good price, because they're just not holding their value as they should, because we don't really have a gauge on how long these will last before we have to have expensive and extensive repairs done to them. But as of now, I'm pretty impressed by this. I like this trim, the 2LT loaded out. I like everything that you get here. And I especially like this Galaxy Gray Metallic. So with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2024 Chevy Blazer EV LT.